amazing. I couldn't be happier with this company.
We absolutely love these cages.
One at a time, okay, guys?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Morning Musings. Glad everyone could join us. See, we got quite a few people already over in the chat room, so that's a good deal. Today is Sunday, July 13th. I can't believe this month is almost halfway over with already. Doesn't seem like I got a whole lot accomplished this month. Welcome everyone to the show. Don't have a whole lot planned today. I do have a few announcements I want to go over in a minute. But first, shout out to our channel sponsors, Gopher Ridge Quail Farm. HP Murray's over there. He does a wonderful job every month or every week. He donates hatching eggs to give away to you guys, which we will be doing again on today's show. So we'll give you a hashtag to comment here in a little bit and put you in the running for some hatching eggs. Same with Hatching Time. Hatching Time donates a $50 Hatching Time gift certificate for use over on their website. And later on in the show, we'll go ahead and do a hashtag for that. So some lucky winner can get $50 to help them save some money on some Hatching Time equipment. Let's see. Oh, I also wanted to mention that Gopher Ridge, HP's got a 60% off coupon code over on his channel. That's a good coupon code. And I can't believe he's getting 60% off. But anyhow, it's for the month of July, and use the coupon code CC60. I'm going to put that in the chat room. And head on over to his website. I believe that applies to everything on the website. So, you could save yourself quite a bit of money on some hatching eggs, or I don't know if it applies to his cartons, the egg cartons or not, but check it out, see what happens. Let's see, what else do we got going on? As a lot of you know, I've been working on the website, specifically the CoturnixCorner.com website, and I am running into some major issues getting that website up and running. I've got the database populated, but for some reason I can't get the database to talk with the script or the program, and it just won't bring the website up. And I don't know, it's got to be something stupid that I'm overlooking or whatever. I'm just not 100% sure, but I am working on it, and the main reason I'm working on it is because I want to get that kids program up and running. I mean, we're already halfway through July. August, the winner of the August program will be announced pretty soon, or September. So yeah, I got to get that website back up and running. I was almost thinking about maybe moving, if I can't get the website running, moving the kids program over to Facebook, but that's not going to do a whole lot of good because my judges are over on the Coturnix Corner channel. I don't know. So if anybody's got any ideas, let me know how we can get this thing working. I can reinstall the script and get the website up and running. The problem is, without being able to populate the database with the new database with the old database information, there's over 6,000 members that won't be able to log into the program. Everybody would have to re-register again, and I really don't want to have to go through all that nonsense, building up that community again over there. So, I'm going to be working on it. I almost have the Gulf Coast Quail website up and running, and I also I registered a new domain for the DIY incubators, and I'll announce that as soon as I get it up and running and ready to order incubators off of. Let's see. Upcoming, we have Maury Straubel of West Michigan Quail. We're finally putting together his little cooking show he's going to be doing. he's had some requests to do smoked quail on the grill and also smoked quail eggs on the grill. So he's going to be doing that live from Michigan. Originally, I was going to go up there and we were going to do the live stream. But things happened here with my wife and I had to change the plans on going up there. I won't be going up there until later on in the fall. But Maury's going to go ahead and record everything that he's going to do as far as the cooking and whatnot. And then he's going to come on the live stream. We're going to show videos of him actually doing that and explaining how it's done. And then he can, take questions and whatnot. So let's see. Also, Bree Pats, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think I have her scheduled for Tuesday, this upcoming Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. And also over on Facebook Live, she's doing her virtual poultry show. And I believe she has one today. So, if you're on Facebook, go over there and check that out. And let's see what other thing. Oh, I had some people message me over on Facebook saying that they're having issues posting in the group. When they post in the group, their post shows up for a minute and then it just disappears. But what's happening is Facebook's AI robots are going through and they're marking stuff as spam. So it's sending it to a potential spam folder. And unless one of the moderators or me comes in there and approves it, it doesn't show up on Facebook. So if you get a message like that saying that your post is has to be approved or something first, don't give up on it. We will get into it. Sometimes it's a little bit later in the day, but hopefully we can get everything going. All right, that's pretty much it out of me. You guys let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. I see we got quite a few people in there. We'll go ahead and I wish you could too, Andy. That would be nice. And by the way, Andy, HP does have your information. So what I didn't realize with that Coturnix Corner website being down, a lot of my messages come in through that website, and I'm not getting them anymore. So, yeah. All right, let's jump over in the chat room, see who's all in the house, and say good morning to everyone. Papa's in the house. He was the first one. Says morning all. Glad you could join us today, Papa. Marie says morning, everyone. Papa's talking. Marie says good morning, and vice versa. Viking Chick's in the house. Says good morning, everyone. Morning, Viking Chick. Glad you could make it today. Chase says good morning. Freight Hauler's in the house. Says good morning, everyone. What happened there? John Collingsgrove's in the house. Says good morning. Andy Rabbit's in the house. Says good morning. Chantel Williams says morning all. Good Ross Family Farms in the house. Says morning, Quailers. Papa says morning, Andy. Hope all is well with the repopulation. Yep. Well, she's got eggs coming from HP that will help her. And I thought last week I heard somebody saying that they were able to kind of help her out a little bit. Oh, I did. I had my buddy. This guy's been buying quail and chickens for me for years. He stopped by yesterday and bought half of my. He didn't buy. I gave them to him. He bought half of my Brahma chickens, and out of 9, he took 5, and they were all roosters. So that left me with 4 hens. So we'll see how that goes with them. Anybody familiar with the Brahmas? How long it takes them to start laying? I mean, these birds are huge. I want to say they're 4.5, maybe going on 5 months. But I've never had Brahma, so I don't know when they start laying. I think being a large bird, it's probably going to be a little bit later than, some of the production birds. Joy Guthrie's in the house. Says good morning from Western Oregon. Good morning, Joy. Glad you could join us. Janelle says good morning, quail folks. Good morning, Janelle. 340 Quail Farms in the house. Says good morning. Oh, we're alive, or we're live. Yes, we are live. I thought you were saying we are alive. Necro Kitty's in the house. Necro Kitty, hi. My alarm worked this time. That's cool. Glad you could join us and on time today. Ben says, good morning from Burnett, Texas. Yeah, speaking of Texas, it's every day. I try not to watch too much TV or news, but every day when the evening news comes on, I see more about they're up over 100 people found, unfortunately not alive, and still, I think last I heard there was still 100 people missing. So, Papa says, making my tea right now. LOL, tea with Terry. I'm drinking. I got water with Terry. I've already had my coffee early this morning. So, Papa says, great to see everyone coming in today. Absolutely. Corgolian's in the house this morning from waterlogged Central Texas. Yeah, it's a shame. Did you guys see anything? There's a company out there. It's called Rainmaker, and the CEO, I think he was the CEO, came on. He was on the news the other day, and he was on another show that I watched where he did an interview. He said that they do cloud seeding, and they've been doing this for about 10 years now, kind of testing, different methods and whatnot of cloud seeding. But they figured out a way that by using drones, they can actually go up and tell how much moisture is in the clouds, and then they seed it with some kind of chemical or something to get it to rain. It makes the water heavier, and then it rains. But he was also saying that 70% of the moisture in the sky never hits the earth. It's just, I don't know what it's up there doing, but yeah, a lot of people were saying something about, it's possibly his fault because he was seeding in that area, where the floods were. I don't know if I go along with that, but what are you guys' thoughts on weather manipulation? Good thing, bad thing? Are we messing with stuff we shouldn't be? Quail and Crafts this morning from Lehigh, Utah. Cool. Morning, Quail and Craft. Glad you could join us. Don Skin's in the house this morning from South Mississippi. Glad you made it today. Yeah, I actually got up early, and I don't really have anything. I did all my work, outside work yesterday, so I don't have a whole lot to do. I am going to spend the afternoon working on websites. I've got to get Gulf Coast Quail up and running because I can't take any incubator orders, and I want to get Coturnix Corner back up and running because we've got 6,000 members over there, kind of waiting to see what's going on. Ray Dollar says, hit the like button. Yeah, do that, guys. Matter of fact, let me get a refresh on this page and see what happens. Yeah, we got 21 likes out of 65. Hit that like button, guys. It does help with the YouTube algorithms. It shows more of our content on the recommended videos list in the morning, or in the homepage, I guess, of YouTube. Gary says, morning all. Glad you could join us, Gary. Nita Garrett's in the house this morning, everyone, from Virginia. I'll be here for a bit, then I have to go to work. I'm glad you took the time to join us this morning, Anita, and I hope everything's going well up there in Shenandoah Valley. Estella Hobby Farm says good morning from Alabama. Brian Edwards says good morning from Central Texas. Hilltop Honey from Kentucky says good morning. Glad you could join us. It's a nice little frame of, I guess that's honey. I can't see. It looks like the top half is capped. I went down. I had a swarm trap set down at my neighbor's house, buddy's house, a couple houses down, and we caught a swarm, and I went over there and closed up the swarm trap and got them out of there. And then he called me up and said, yeah, there's still a whole bunch of bees buzzing around. And so I guess it was some of the foragers were out when I closed it up, or I know that they were bearding heavily, but anyhow, so I put another little 5-framer out there just to catch some of those stragglers. And I went down there this morning. I had to take them a bag of bird feed for a bird. And I had this bee he was mad. He bumped me a couple times, and all of a sudden his buzzing got really loud. And I'm like, what's your problem, dude? So I don't know. Maybe they're mad that I've buttoned the first box up and took their queen away from them, but I don't know. It was weird. Papa says, I hope everyone is safe and healthy after this round of weather lately. Yeah, the weather has been crazy. Ooh, backache. Kurt's in the house. Good morning from Michigan. Glad you could join us, Kurt. Francois says, good morning from Lebanon. Greetings. Thank you for joining us this morning. Papa says, HP has great birds. He does. I haven't been happier with, the stuff that I've hatched out from him. Always good size, always, healthy looking birds. Just, yep. Here's that code, guys. For those of you who are just joining us, if you go over to gopherridgequail.com, HP is having a special for the month of July. You can get 60% off of hatching egg order. I'm not sure if it applies to everything on the website, but try using it. But anyhow, 60% off. That's crazy. Good opportunity to get some cheap eggs. Otis says, thought I read mixed lots only. Okay, that is possible. Matter of fact, let me check it on it over here, because I do have it posted on. Oh, I was looking at the wrong. Okay, yeah, it does say a variety box. Okay, so that is a variety box, 60% off. So still, excellent deal. Herman Munster's in the house. Good morning from Palm Springs, California. Glad you could join us there, Mr. Munster. Papa says, morning from Cleveland, Ohio. Why do I think I just read that? Jessica Klein says, I need some natural remedies for all around the quail area for ticks. Man, the ticks are so bad this year. Clusters of seed ticks fall on my feet every morning. Wow, luckily that's one thing I don't have to deal with. I don't have any recommendations as far as taking care of the ticks or how to get rid of them. If anybody else is in the house that knows of looking for some natural remedies, yeah, I don't know if maybe there's some essential oils or something that you could spread around or what. I don't know really what repels ticks. Yeah, if anybody's in the house, comment and let Jessica know. Robert says, good morning, Terry. Got about my quail smell apart from cleaning the cage. There's always a smell. Is there something I can use to keep it down? Yeah, a lot of times the smell is caused by wet manure. I mean, when the manure's wet, moist, it's going to smell a lot more than once it dries out. What I was doing, I always kept dry pine shavings in the trays. Now I'm talking about inside. And I had a fan. This was usually in the summer months when it was really hot. I would have a fan down at the end of the cages blowing across the manure trays. And that pretty much helped keep the manure dry enough to where the smell wasn't that bad. And for those of you who know, my birds were inside on an enclosed carport, and there was like 500 birds, between 300 and 500 birds. And so, yeah, it had the potential to smell really bad. As a matter of fact, it did smell really bad when I first, started getting higher numbers of birds out there. But I, figured out that, it was the wet manure or the wet shavings. If you notice wet shavings in there, make sure you change it out right away, get some dry stuff in. And one of the biggest things for me as far as keeping the smells down in the shop was cleaning. I was cleaning probably 2 to 3 times a week. We had these big plastic Sterilite tubs. I'd use those for cleaning. There's actually videos on the channel showing it. But and then right outside the door was a wheelbarrow. I'd fill them tubs, empty them in the wheelbarrow, and take them over to the compost pile. And I had my wife helping me, of course. So, yeah, no, she was very adamant about keeping the smells down. I've heard some people say that there's I can't remember the name of it. You can get it at Tractor Supply. It's really pricey. But you sprinkle it on the manure. And I did try it, and it did knock the ammonia smell down quite a bit. But I think it was like $25 a bag or something like that for 10 pounds. And I'm like, I'm not spending that kind of money. You know, it's got to be a better way. So, yeah, keeping everything clean and dry is the best way. If it's outdoors now, you know, like you say, you've got an aviary. I'm running into that problem right now out there. We have our afternoon rains that blow in from the side and get the floor of the aviary all wet. So I'm using pine shavings out there right now too. They're getting soaked. The birds dropping get wet and they stink and start drawing flies and whatnot. So I noticed the only thing I can do out there is, you know, I clean the aviary probably twice a week. What I need to do is go back to my deep litter method. When I moved the aviary, it was up on blocks. I moved it over to another concrete slab, and it's setting on the slab. So I've only got like 1.5 inches of substrate in the bottom of it. Andy Rabbit says, Bree, I wish I could make it. Yeah, I got to get I know Bree's busy. I mean, right now she's got the virtual poultry show going on, and I hate bugging her all the time. But she did. Her last message to me was she couldn't do today because she had the show this morning, but she was open Tuesday. And so I've got to get back with her and see if she wants to go ahead and lock that in or not. All right. Freight Holler says hens are 7 weeks old. Expect eggs hopefully soon. Cool. Yeah, it shouldn't be long. I'm surprised that you haven't, had any pop up now. I've seen eggs at 5 and 6 weeks before. So Maury says, morning, everyone headed out on the boat. Have fun, Maury. Catch a bunch of fish. And Maury, I mentioned too about the live stream with the smoking quail on the grill. I'll get a hold of you on that tonight or tomorrow, something like that. All right, Papa says, Hilltop, the more eggs you put in, the longer you're going to need to boil it. Yeah, I think I actually skipped over that. It was an accident. Hilltop Honey says, is there a limit on how many eggs to hard boil at a time? I'm doing 200 at a time, and it's not working out very well. By not working out very well, what's going on? Are you having issues with peeling them, or are some of the eggs not cooked all the way through? Yeah, Papa's right. The more eggs you have in there, you do need to increase your boil time. And to be honest with you, I found that, I'm using that electric peeler, and I usually boil for a good 10, 12 minutes. And a lot of people say, oh, you only need to boil for 3 or 4 minutes. But if I boil for, 8, 10, 12 minutes, whatever, they peel a lot better, and I get, a better looking end product, I guess you would say. Papa says, Hilltop, the more eggs you put in, the longer you need to boil. Absolutely. Hannah Bishop's in the house this morning. Good morning, Hannah. Glad you could join us. Joshua says, hello from North Carolina. All right, guys, we are at the halfway point. I'm glad I looked up at the clock. Let's go ahead and give away a $50 Hatching Time gift certificate. If you want to comment hashtag Hatching Time, it's all lowercase, all one word, no spaces. We will go ahead and put you in the running for the I got to bring up the giveaway. What am I doing here? Hold on, guys. Did I get the right address? Oops. Oh. Hold on. I got to do a quick search because I had it bookmarked. And there we are. And of course, there we go. Okay, cool. That's up and running. All right. So, yeah, if you guys want to copy hashtag Hatching Time, and for those of you who don't know, hashtag is the little tic-tac-toe board above your number 3. We'll go ahead and give away a $50 gift certificate. I'll take a couple more comments while we're waiting on the hatching time comments. Chase says, my quail will be 3 weeks old tomorrow. Cool. Congratulations. Hope they're doing well. I've seen, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen quite a few comments over on Facebook over the past, and it may be because there's a lot of people hatching eggs, in the past couple months. People are losing quail, at either a day old, 2 days old, or, up to 3 weeks old even. And I wonder if any of you guys experienced that, losing chicks in the brooder or losing chicks in the incubator still before you put them in the brooder. I haven't had any issues. I don't know, why there would be so much going on. Maybe we need to do a video on incubating and brooding, just to kind of refresh in people's memory on that. Let's see. Andy Rabbit says, my eggs are in the incubator. Cool. Gargolian says, flood cleanup and recovery effort is mainly what's going on in my area, and I'm recovering from surgery I had this past Monday. Well, I hope your recovery goes well, and I hope the recovery of Texas goes well. I mean, I know a lot of people are stepping up and, giving donations and whatnot for the people that lost kids, and that's heartbreaking right there. But yeah, well, I'm glad that they're working on things, getting things straightened out, and and I'm glad your surgery went okay. So, all right, let's go ahead and do the giveaway here. Hide that. I always have to refresh my memory on how to do things. Okay, that's it. Share screen. Giveaway tool. We're going to share that screen. All right. Choose the live streams. It'll be morning musings, and the hashtag is going to be hashtag hatching time. Let's see how many people. 39 people are entered into the hatching time giveaway, and the winner is going to be Holly George. Cool. Holly, you are the winner. Let's see. Stop sharing that. Go back to that screen. Holly, I'm going to put my email address in the chat room. And what I need you to do is send me your information. I need, obviously, name and address, and make sure I get a good email address, because I'm going to forward that over to Hatching Time, and they're actually going to send you the $50 gift certificate via email. All right. Guys, hang with us. Shortly, we'll go ahead and do the giveaway for the 30 count of hatching eggs from HP over at Gopher Ridge Quail. Let's see. Nadia says, best time to butcher. Any difference in 8, 10, or 12 weeks? The weight's not going to change that much. I've actually butchered, as low as 6 weeks. But yeah, any time during that window that you've got up there, I would more or less go on, how many birds you've got to butcher, how many birds you need to butcher. If they're all within that age group that you've got up there, they'll be fine. Chris Hughes in the house says, good morning. Papa says, good luck to Andy with the hatch. Absolutely. Robert says, good morning, Terry. Got a question about my quail smell. Apart from cleaning, it still has a smell. Is there something that I can use to keep the smells down? Yeah, like I said earlier, keep the manure dry. Whether you have to use air movement to dry it out, or for me, pine shavings works really well in the wintertime because it doesn't get hot enough for that smell to boil up and whatnot in my shop. But pine shavings works really well in the summertime to absorb some of the moisture. The trick is just keeping things clean. So. Craft Family Flows says, hey, Mr. Terry, Matt from Northeast Florida here. Thanks for helping us out. I just got started. I already have a ton of questions. Well, I can tell you to head on over to the Coturnix Corner Facebook group and ask away. There's a ton of good people over there that are willing to help out. If you're not a member over there, make sure that when you do join, if you join, that you say yes to the rules. Because we do not allow people in that don't accept the rules. That's our way of trying to keep spammers out. Jody Schmidt says mine are around 6 months. Okay. Oh, it must be talking about the Brahmas. Anna says 6 to 8 months for the Brahmas. Okay. Yeah, I think I did look that up online, and I was hoping somebody would say, oh, you might get them at 6 months or 5 months, whatever, but that's okay. I've only got a few of them left. And I actually, in the brooder right now, I've got 4, what are they? Black Australops. I won't even go into the story of how I ended up with those, but yeah, they're just chicks. They're probably not even a month old yet. And they'll be going out with the Brahmas when they get a little bit bigger. Brian Allen's in the house this morning from Alabama. Glad you could join us, Brian. Papa says, Nadia, I butcher at 10 weeks. Okay, there you go. See, it's preference, personal preference. Andy says, my eggs from HP came in awesome shape. Not one was hurt. Good. Good. Viking Chicks, Jessica, ticks are a bad problem by me too. Ticks thrive in moist areas with long grass and lots of vegetation. Keep the grass short and the area dry. It can help. They drop off of trees, bushes, etc. Lots of sand might help. Good idea. Jeffrey says, morning from Harrodsburg, Kentucky. Glad you could join us. James McKinney says, good morning from a new quail addict from East Tennessee. Welcome to the addiction and enjoy it. It's definitely an addiction. I mean, it seems like, oh, I'm only going to get a few, and then that few. I mean, I started out, I was only going to have between 10 and 20, 25 at the most. And we got to a point where we were near 500. So, yeah, we had I won't go into why we had to get rid of them, but it was due to health reasons for my wife mainly. John says, I'm going to try to make an incubator. Bought the Inkbird temp and humidity controller on Prime days. Cool. That's a good way to get it cheap. Cool. Good luck with the incubator. Let me know if you need any help. Check out the videos on the channel here. Even if you're not going to build them like I did out of the foam, there's a lot of good stuff in there that will help you get it set up and dialed in and whatnot. So, and the rabbit says, that's why we get fog here. Hey. Nico Kitty said, I saw that clip. I was thinking it was a red herring. Oh, yes. Yeah, that seeding guy. Yeah. I can't remember the name. Okay, Holly, I just got your email for that, so thank you very much. Yeah, no, I mean, you always hear people talking about contrails and chemtrails and whatnot, but this guy, I mean, he came right on television and he was adamant about, and he's a young guy. He can't be in late 30s, maybe early 40s. And he's saying, yeah, we can make it rain. We identify what clouds are holding moisture, and then we seed them with drones, using drones. They don't even use airplanes. They seed them with drones, and it makes it rain. And he did mention one thing. He said, I've been asked if we were responsible for the flooding in Texas. And he said, I'm not going to say that we were, but I can't prove that we weren't. So, yeah, I mean, obviously he can't take the blame for it. How are you going to prove that, they made it rain? Corgolian says, I honestly haven't heard much about that. All I know is there's more rain today. Yeah, it's crazy. Weather's been really weird lately. Andrew Rabbit says Mother Nature will take care of its own. Stay away and let her do the job. I agree 100% with that. Corgolian says, agreed, Andy. We take care of her and she'll take care of us. You know, the one thing that the guy was saying during his interview was that they're there to help farmers. They get farmers that, you know, I guess contact them and say, hey, we've been in a drought, you know, we need water here. Is there anything you can do for us? But he did mention that he was there to help the farmers. I don't know. I'm more apt to lean with letting Mother Nature do her thing. She knows when we need the water. I know she dumped 3 hurricanes on us in the last few years, which was kind of crazy. Papa says, I agree with Andy. Leave nature alone. She knows what she's doing. Absolutely. Negro Kitty says his company was blamed because it was the most innocent version of weather modification. They want people to think that that's the only version. Think it's only that version. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know that it was funny because the way they presented the show and the way the guy presented his company, it was like he wasn't denying a thing. He explained the whole process. He said a lot of people don't understand what we're doing. But, you know, they came up with a way that they could identify which cloud structures are holding moistures. I guess they fly in and they can zigzag through the cloud and maybe gets a reading or whatever. But he said that 70% of the moisture in the sky never hits the ground. They just kind of make it hit the ground, I guess. I don't know. Joshua says, good morning from Eastern North Carolina. Glad you could join us, Joshua. Ben says, Terry, I have not heard of this company. Definitely think they're messing with stuff we have no business dabbling in. But I will say we see floods in the hill country like this every few years. Yeah, that's nature, you know. The company, I believe the name was Rainmaker. If you look it up, even do a search here on YouTube. I think there's a few videos out there of the guy talking about it. Dane Paget's in the house this morning, all from Georgia. Glad you could join us, Dane. Just not floods necessarily this bad. Absolutely. Promised Land Homestead said weather manipulation is and always will be a horrible thing. People need to stop playing God. Absolutely. Jessica's talking to Viking Chick. We've cut everything down in the area and still get full of ticks. We are out gardening most of the day and basically have to de-tick daily, and sprays haven't really been working. Jessica, have you tried permethrin? I know a lot of people up north in Michigan will buy permethrin. It's like the 10% spray, and I don't know if they're diluting it that much or not, but they spray their clothing down with it when they go out in the woods or go hunting and stuff, and it keeps the ticks off of them. I couldn't think of anything that would naturally do it. Although, you know what? I did buy, and this was a couple years ago, I bought a bottle of mosquito and tick spray, and it said it was all natural. And one of the things in it, I could tell when I put it on my arms. I go down to my neighbor's. He's got his whole property is nothing but trees and stuff growing everywhere. And when in the rainy season, he's got a million mosquitoes down there. But anyhow, I put the stuff on my arms, and I was smelling lemongrass oil. So I don't know if that might be some type of an option. Eucalyptus, you know, I would definitely do some. If you don't want to use chemicals, you know, look into some of the it's essential oils and see if that doesn't help. Costello Hobbers Time says, question, I saw a lady on YouTube who lets her rabbits and quail live together, and they all eat rabbit pellets. Sort of want to try this, but ain't sure. What are your thoughts? We had a young lady on here, Tanya. I can't remember her last name. I can't think of her last name. She does that. She's got this huge area. Her whole backyard is basically one big aviary. She's got a deck, and then it kind of wraps around the deck. And she's got all kinds. She's got turkeys, chickens, rabbits, quail, all kinds of different animals in there, and they all do fine together. Now, I don't know exactly what she's feeding them. Rabbit pellets are not going to do quail any good. They've got a different diet requirement. Plus, the rabbit pellets are probably a little bit too big for them to ingest. You can buy pelleted chicken food, but I don't think you can get pelleted game bird feed. So that'd be something to look into. But yes, there are people that successfully keep rabbits and quail together, and I don't see why you couldn't, especially rabbits. They don't hurt anything. Ricky says, good morning from Texas. I've learned a lot from you. Keep up the good work. Good deal. And thanks for joining us this morning, Ricky. Chantel says, I use Wondercide for ticks. There you go. I've never heard of it, but there you go. And a rabbit says, I've seen rabbits kill birds that have gotten into their cages before. So there's that. I feed my quail the dust from the rabbit's feet as a treat. Okay, well, there you go. I would not have thought that there'd be enough nutrients in the rabbit feed for quail. Hilltop Honey says, chickens work good for ticks. That's an idea. Necro Kitty says, I need to figure out fire ants because they are where I stand to open my cages. Yeah, welcome to my world. Fire ants can be fun. I've done a few recipes where you mix what is it called? Borax in with fire. For fire ants, you would use something like finely ground hamburger, any type of meat. Mix in the borax with that, spread it around the outsides of their mound, and they'll actually eat it and take it back into the mound, feed all the other ants, and it'll kill them. So, but you need to give them some type of a meat because they are carnivorous, I guess. And then for the, I also have tons of sugar eating ants, especially around my bees. So I fill up these little plastic tubs. I'll make sugar water for the bees, and then I'll put some cotton swabs inside the sugar water to absorb the sugar water. And then I've got a couple holes drilled around the outside of that plastic container. And I just set those out there by the beehives, and you'll see it within a half a day. You'll have ants coming and going. There'll be a train of them, and they take it back to their nest and hopefully kill the queen, and no more ant problem. Costello Hobby Farm says guineas get rid of ticks good. I can imagine they would. Viking Chick, diatomaceous earth, if you're okay using it, it may help dry them out. I'm a survivor of Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. Ooh. Trust me, I understand your concern. You could try spraying DEET. Yeah, DEET will definitely deter them. Like I say, I know I know that people have used permethrin on their clothes. I don't know what you've got around there. And I don't think it, I mean, I've sprayed down my quail cages with permethrin and never had an issue, with any kind of, nothing with the quail, didn't hurt the quail. And I never had any problems with, ticks or mites or anything like that. The Probs Land Home said ticks just need to go back to hell where they came from. Viking Chick, higher than 25% on your shoes or clothes. Okay. Nadia says, we use beneficial nematodes on our yard, flea, tick, fire ant control, since I don't want any chemicals around my dogs or quail. Works very well. Chickens, ducks, free ranging helps as well. Where do you get the nematodes? I've never heard of that, but that's an interesting. I would love to see if that worked for the ant problem I have out back. Negro Kitty says, Robert, if you can get it dry, use garden lime. Lime takes away the smell of all stinky animal droppings. Yep. I used to work at a plant that made lime. It was a mining plant. I worked there briefly. And we had trucks coming in. I guess it was going to like orange groves and stuff. I think too, they were using it as a fertilizer. All right, where are we at here? Andy Rabbit says, Negro, when it comes to fire ants, I say chemicals. You can't even drown them. Yeah, no, you got to get them. I like baiting animals. I mean, you got to get them to take whatever they're eating with the poison in it back to the queen. If you don't kill the queen, you're just going to have more nests. And it seems to me, Andy, that when we had fire ant mounds in our yard, I'd buy that stuff that you sprinkle around the mound and then water it in. And it was like that one mound would split into two. And then I'd treat those, and then those would split into four. And I stopped doing it. I just stopped spraying them all together. And I'm going to say 90% of them, of the fire ants, went away. My biggest problem right now is the stupid little sugar ants. Just because I guess I should have mentioned that we already have a bunch of guineas, but we have had to pen them lately because of the neighborhood fox. There you go. Like in ticks can kill you. They're bad. Some people tape their pants closed. Others use sticky tape rollers to pick them off of you. That's why I'm lucky. I don't really have a tick issue down here. Andy Rabbit says, what chemicals? Andy Rabbit says, what is the purpose of ticks and wasps? I don't know. Anita says natural tick remedies would be either guinea fowl or ducks. Both will eradicate ticks. There you go. Maurice Strobel checked in and says, good morning, everyone. Headed out on the boat. Andy Rabbit says, I know God says there's a purpose for every animal. What is the purpose of the two of them? Couldn't tell you. Oh, boy, I can't even say it. Lanita Till, I'm sorry, I butchered your name there. Good morning from a scorching Eugene, Oregon. Almost reaching 100 here today. Hope everyone is staying cool. Yeah, we're having heat index is in the triple digits, but our regular heat, our regular temperature is like 90, lower 90s to upper to mid 90s, somewhere there. Don says, HB have a discount code for Jumbo Farrell. I am not sure. He did have one. It was a 20% discount code, CC20. But to be honest with you, I don't know what it applied to. Just shoot HP an email or a message, and he'll let you know. Andy's talking to Necro. Okay, you guys aren't talking to me. Let's see. Ben says, has anyone played with Breeze app yet? I haven't had a chance to get it all set up and going yet, but it seems like it's going to be a very resourceful app. I haven't tried it out yet. I did see it. She had it over on the Facebook group, but I haven't checked it out. So, yeah, if anybody has, let us know. Okay, we got a whole bunch of hatching time comments. Guys, we're going up on 10 o'clock, so go ahead and put in your hashtag Gopher Ridge, all one word, all lowercase, and we'll get you in the drawing for a 30 count of hatching eggs. We had quite a few. Andrew Rabb says that Necro Kitty, I do remember what we use is a small pellet type stuff. Okay. Viking Chicks, there's a study I read a while back about mice permitting toilet paper tools. You can look at them, try that too. Ticks are a nightmare for me. The quail don't seem to eat. All right, let me skip that. Eat them, and my chickens are not getting all of them either. Yeah, I guess I should count my lucky stars. We don't have ticks around here. Well, I'm sure we do out in the woods, but I've never seen none here in town. Chase says, it is my first time with quail, and I've lost no chicks so far. Good. Viking Chick says, Terry, Brahmas usually start to lay in the 4 to 6 month age range. That's cool. That's because right now they're 4.5 months. So, and they're big. I mean, them things are a lot bigger than any other chickens I've ever had. So I would have expected them to be laying by now. Chantal says, I've noticed my shipped eggs are hatching on day 16. I'm guessing they're getting too hot during shipping, so I'm starting to lock down on day 13 instead of 14. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, if they're getting that warm and shipping, I imagine they could, probably start developing, but no, that's crazy that you're you're hatching on a day. You sure your incubators are dialed in? I know, Chantel, I shouldn't have said that to you because I know they are. Anita says, I just got called into work. Hopefully I'll be here next week. Bye. Have a great day. Thanks for joining us, Anita. Much appreciated. And I hate to say enjoy your day at work, but enjoy your day at work. Andy Rabbit says, we tried drowning the fire ants once. It didn't work. No, fire ants will float up on top of the water. I've actually seen balls of fire ants. This is down in my fishing days back over in the park here. And when it floods, the fire ants will all ball up and they'll actually float down the little canal until they find a place suitable to get back on shore, and they'll build their nest over there. So yeah, when they get flooded out, they do float away and restart. Ben says, I have been very fortunate with the brooder situation as a newbie. Slightly redneck had mentioned the Inkbird temp controller, and I think that is what saved me. I try to recommend it often. Yeah, the Inkbirds are good. I've used them for years and pretty much everything I do. I don't use them in the brooder because I don't run the brooder that warm. I put about a 75 watt, 100 watt bulb in the wintertime at one end of the brooder, and that pretty much does it for me. But yeah, Inkbird, I've never had any problems with mine. All right, let me see what we got here. Real quick, guys, if you're interested in getting some hatching egg or getting into the hatching egg giveaway, comment hashtag Gopher Ridge. You'll see a whole bunch of them already in the chat room there. All one word and all lowercase. All right, let's go ahead and take a couple more, and then we'll go ahead and do the giveaway. We've got 5 minutes. Corgolian says fire ants float. Yes, they do. Okay, we've got a whole bunch of people saying congratulations to Holly. Anita's Andy says hello, Anita. Goodbye, Anita. For the winner of the hatching eggs, here's my email address. I need you to send me your shipping information, and please include a good phone number and a good email in case HP needs to get a hold of you with any questions he may have. All right, one more, and then we will do the drawing. Negro Kitty says, my incubator isn't rolling all the eggs. I lost 9 out of 34 because the chicks were positioned badly. Yeah, I don't know what you're using, Necro Kitty, for a incubator. I don't like the turners that the turner turns. The turner rotates, and like the dome incubators, the turner rotates and just kind of rolls the eggs along. I prefer a turner that kind of tilts them back and forth. But one thing that might help you is put, that drawer liner material that you use in when you go into lockdown. Put a piece of that. If you're using the kind of incubator, a dome type incubator, put a piece of that down. Cut one that fits perfectly inside there. Put that down. Then put your turner in. That will give the eggs something to hold on to, and they'll kind of roll a little bit easier as that turner's going around. So, all right, let me go ahead, and we're going to jump over and do our giveaway. All right, there's our share screen. Giveaway tool, share. All right, we got to go back from this screen. Choose the live stream, Morning Musings, and it's hashtag GOPHERRIDGE. Hashtag Gopher Ridge. And we got 42 people who are in the drawing. Let's go ahead and see who the lucky winner is. And the winner is Brian Edwards. All right, Brian. My email address is there in the chat room. I will actually bring it up on the screen here in a second. Yeah, it's over there in the chat room. Let me get down to the bottom here real quick. Let's see if I can find it. Didn't I just put it in there recently? Well, if I didn't, I'll go ahead and put it in again right now. It's KC4TM, which is my old call sign at Comcast.net. All right, that's in the chat room. A whole bunch of people are saying congrats to Ben or to Brian. Sorry. All right, let me get back over in the chat room. We got a couple minutes. We'll take a few more questions before we pull the plug on this one. That's an idea. Andrew Rabbit says, what about the Avon Skin So Soft? People used to say it worked to keep bugs off people. It's an idea. I've never tried it myself, but... Cam said, I'm surprised at how cool the air felt this morning, Central Florida, mid-70s. You know, it's funny you say that, Cam, because my wife went out yesterday morning, took the dog for a walk, and she came in. She goes, Brr, it's chilly out there. And I'm like, I just looked at her like, what? You nuts? Chantel says, Wonderside is all plant oils. I can put right on my dogs. It's not toxic. Seems to work great against deer ticks in my yard. Cool. Hannah says, I use tea tree castle soap mixed with water for fire ants. They created a large nest in my garden last year and would attack me. Yeah, I hate fire ants. I mean, it's like they all get on you and they don't bite, so you don't know they're on there, and then one of them gives the okay to go ahead and bite, and it's attack. Ben says, only thing with permethrin is I thought I read it's very toxic to cats, even in small amounts. It is. I've read the same thing, that it's toxic to cats. So, yeah, if you've got cats running around that might get into it, could, you know, I wouldn't put it down if you've got cats that, roam your yard or whatever. There you go. Spray your ankles with turpentine to keep the ticks away. You know what? I probably shouldn't even say this, but, Andy, you're right. Back in the olden days, I used to do some crazy stuff. I know a couple old dog breeders from way back in the day. If their dog got mange, that they would rub their dog down with used motor oil. I've never done that to my dog, but they said that it takes care of the mange very easily. I mean, I guess they suffocate in it, but yeah, no, back in the day, they used to do some crazy stuff. Andrew Rabbit says, I get a lot of dust from rabbit feed anymore. I have to shake the feeders out sometimes. So I catch it and give it to the quail once in a while as a treat, not as feed. Yeah, I wouldn't think it has a bunch of nutrients for quail. I mean, I don't know. But Andrew Rabbit says, just a little hard to toss it. I feel like I'm tossing money in the summer. I feed it black soldier fly too. Yep, no, I'm the same way. I hate wasting stuff. Rabbits aren't going to do it, but for my quail, even when the feeders got full of the dust from the feed, I would leave that in there, and I wouldn't add any more crumbles to it. I let them finish that up, clean up that dust, and then I would add feedback to them. Carolina says GM had a quail in the good morning. Had a quail in the cage. I thought it died, but it was laying on its side and alive. Anyhow, it can't get up. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I don't know. Without seeing the bird, I have no idea what it could be. I mean, I've seen birds do that they'll flush or they'll jump up, hit their head. It's like a neurological issue. When they fall back down, they just lay on their sides, can't move. Yeah, without seeing a bird, it's really hard to call on that one. It could be nutrition related. I mean, if the bird was fine and you got up the next morning and seen that it was just laying there, it's very possible that it flushed and messed up its neck. Otis says, I have a tea tree body wash in a green bottle. That helps a lot. There you go. Al says, caught my first live. P.S. Shark Tank had a product, Tick Mitt, that's sold at PetSmart. There you go. I never heard of that one. Ben says, my dark Brahma rooster is absolutely my favorite. Very sweet, beautiful birds. Yeah, I got rid of all the roosters. Not because, I didn't want to keep roosters, but I don't plan on hatching out any Brahma eggs. So I kept a few of the hens, and then I got the other black Australops. When they grow up, they'll be layers too. So the funny thing is, everybody went out and bought a bunch of chickens so they could, beat the egg inflation prices. I was at the store the other day. Prices are back down where they always were. So yeah, it's getting cheap. Otis says also peppermint and some tree bark. Okay. Cam says, is the CC app gone, not working permanently or temporarily? The Coturnix Corner website it's temporarily down. I mean, I've got the domain back on another server, but I'm having an issue getting the program to read the database. I don't know why. The database is populated, everything's there, and I changed all the settings in the script. It won't connect to the database. So as of now, I'm going to work on it today, but as of now, it looks like if I can't get this issue fixed, CoturnixCorner.com is just going to be gone, because I'm not going to start the community all over again. We were up over 6,500 something members, and I would hate to have everybody have to, re-sign up, repopulate the website, and yeah, it's just too much. The only thing that really breaks my heart about it is the kids program is hosted over there. And, I really like to keep that program running if I can. All right, guys, looks like we're down to where everybody's talking about, or everybody's entering the contest for the hatching eggs. So, and we are after 10 o'clock. So let me go ahead and pull the plug on this one. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I will let you know probably over on the Facebook group page. Handy Rabbit says, I remember the motor oil trick on dogs. Yeah. Where am I at here? Hide current comment. There we go. What was I saying? Oh, I will let you guys know. I'm trying to read and talk with you. Emma says, try using the Grok 4 to help you with the app build. It's not really an app per se. It's a script that runs off of a database, a MySQL database. So I don't know. I'll play with it today and see what happens. But anyhow, guys, I'm going to pull the plug. It's getting close. I haven't even had breakfast yet. So I'm going to go make me another cup of coffee and eat me some breakfast and get to work here. So everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Keep an eye on the Facebook group page as far as Tuesday goes. And yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it. I had fun, and we'll see you hopefully Tuesday. See you later.